Hi, when I had 90 subscribers, I basically said I was going to stop making Maxotics videos, but then since I've got 20 subscribers, and I understand why, my videos are long and boring. But anyway, who knows? So I'm going to make some more, or at least I'll make this one. And anyway, so one thing that I've been thinking a lot about is a YouTuber by the name of Javier Mercedes. And he has a podcast called Passion and Progress, and he has a YouTube channel. Some of his videos are about how to work with Premiere. They're very interesting. His technical videos are first rate. And then others where he interviews people about how to pursue their passion. Essentially how to become a YouTuber. Follow your passion, become a YouTuber like Casey Neistat or something like that. And he's a very friendly guy. Again, I really enjoy watching his videos. But to me, just speaking for my generation, he's naive is the wrong word, but I'm going to use that word. About I feel about human nature, society, many of the things that are going on. There's this culture in YouTube of if you follow your passion, you can be somebody. Like everybody can be a YouTuber, everybody can have a podcast, and it's just to me not true. And they don't talk about some of the real problems, the real issues facing an artist. And I want to talk about those real problems that an artist faces, or you would face becoming a YouTuber or anything else that should be discussed. I think Javier should discuss, and others do discuss, and just putting it out there, again, a 58-year-old's opinion on this nonsense. So the way that I found Javier was he did an interview with Randall Pinkston, who's a black journalist who worked during the 70s. And again, I find this very fascinating because Javier's in a generation now where it's much easier to be black and do something. And in fact, many YouTubers that I follow are black, and I love them. It has nothing to do with them being black. I just anybody can do YouTube. And so, if you're good, it doesn't make a difference what color you are, you can do it. So I do MojoGrip, which is he does planes, right? Who'd ever think it, a black guy covering, planes, which are usually a rich guy's thing, But again, I love watching him. I don't watch Marquis Brownlee, but his videos are amazing. If I was younger and interested in phones, I'd watch him. I watch Wendover Productions. No, sorry, ColdFusion, which is a black guy in, I think, Australia. So there are many, it's one of the great things from somebody in my generation to see that if whatever race or nationality or whatever you are, you can go on YouTube and you can be something. And that's a huge thing. So when Javier's interviewing Randall Pinkston grew up in a different generation, where it was very difficult if you were black to get a job in any news organization. So I thought that interview was good because it's the same thing for Randall's for anybody right now. If you're trying to get into the inn, then that's a great interview. And to me, and I think I emailed this to Javier, in 20 years from now, he'll look back in that interview and be very proud of it, which he should. Because he's talking about a person that had a real passion for journalism facing a world that was not supportive of it, and somehow he found his place and he contributed, and that is a fantastic thing. So I think the number one thing that Javier doesn't, well, I'm going to go through the many things, and not just him personally, but just that whole ethos doesn't recognize. And number one is that YouTube, Google controls your success. This whole idea that if you come up with the right, idea and you're passionate enough and you work hard enough, you can do 3 videos a week, is only right to the extent that Google will monetize it as being correct. And obviously, right, lately there's been a lot of stuff about YouTube monetization. Everybody gets upset. And why do they get upset? Because they know deep down that they don't control their success. The markets or Google controls their success. And you really need to recognize that. And when you make it too like, oh yeah, just do this and you can make it too, and ignore that, I feel you're doing yourself a disservice, because that social structure of who controls distribution and content affects a lot of lives way outside YouTube and in politics and everything. It's a serious thing going on. And to just ignore it and just be rah, 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 to me, it's like, whoa. Do you realize what's going on in the world? So I've written a bunch of things down. I'm just going to go over them. I'm sorry for this. So yeah, I say, should I be supportive of Javier and others like him in this video, or should I be critical about arguing about how they're making a living now, which to me, in a sense, is selling lies. I mean, that's the wrong word, but yeah, I mean, so Javier does all these things. Oh yeah, he interviews various people that have blogs, and they do basketball, or they do various things that are interesting in being famous, while at the same time, right, in the I think the northeast of China, right, they have these re-education camps for Uyghurs, right? Maybe 1 million of them have been rounded up and put into these camps. You have Tokyo protesters, and it's amazing to me. So there's a shot I have of where they have this big slingshot, right, and all these Tokyo kids are pulling the slingshot back. They're going to hurl a rock into the window of a police building, right? No thought to like who might be behind that building, right? I mean, really, it could just be the janitor. And in front of them are 100 wannabe YouTubers with their cameras filming it. So you have a whole YouTuber generation, right, trying to get onto YouTube, and they'll do anything, even fling a rock into a building. You have to take responsibility for that. That's your generation. So when you say you have passion for something, where's your passion for what is that going to lead to? Is it going to be a Tiananmen Square? Are we going to have kids on the ends of bayonets? This is serious stuff. And if you're just covering people with a passion for progress and nobody has a passion for those things, what does that mean, right? I mean, is that what society is about? They're the winners that can go on YouTube and do stuff, about skateboarding around New York City, while the rest of the world is in concentration camps, right? And again, I'm not being anti-Chinese here at all. I'm just saying that, hey, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. There's a lot of struggle. Nobody really knows the answer. And so what is good passion? Okay, so my next question is, would you follow passion if no one communicated back to you? If not, how much interaction do you need? Signs of interest? Do you need to continue on? And this is another thing, like, in YouTube, right? It's how many users you get, how much monetization that you can get. But does Javier ever say, hey, interviewing the person, would you do this if you only had 100 people interested in it? And I think most people say yes, but the answer is really no. Even me, myself, I mean, I want 1 million YouTube, followers. I can't, that's why I sort of quit this channel, right? Because I'm like, I'm not getting many, I'm not going to give up. But why? How do I know that you watching this video, that this really isn't affecting your life, that I've really touched you, right? You can't get that from a number. Just having 1 million viewers doesn't mean that that million is connected to anybody. You can't know. You have to believe in your own material. And so that's a topic that I feel needs to be discussed. I'm hoping all these things that Javier will discuss, because, again, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of him. But I want to mention another person too, and that's Oliver J. Hughes. So Oliver J. Hughes also does some YouTube videos about, how to do audio and lighting and photography. Sort of similar to what Javier is doing. But he also does these series, like he wants to play music again, and he goes into the darkness of the creative process. And he has an honesty that is incredible. And I think there needs to be more of that. And I really enjoy watching his videos, because he goes too far almost the other end. Like, oh my God, Oliver, you're killing me here. Okay, so going through these questions. So again, would you follow your passion if only 10 people are interested in it? Why do you believe your passion is worth somebody else's time? This is a problem I have. Why do I think that what I'm saying now is worth more than you just going outside and taking a picture of a fire hydrant? I don't know. I mean, I think maybe going out and taking that picture is more valuable than my time. So it's a weird thing that that you assume that your narrative is worth replacing another person's life narrative. Why do you believe that that is the case? The other thing is that in all passions and all subjects are different things, right? There are people that are beginners in video, intermediate, advanced. Who are you talking to? And what happens in many successful YouTube shows is they don't actually talk to each one of those sections. They just talk to the fantasy of being successful. So, even though, again, Casey Neistat and Peter McKinnon, they do amazing photography channels and videos. Don't get me wrong, the quality is amazing, but they sell the dream. And it's one reason why I don't believe Javier will ever be very successful in a numbers sense, not in reaching people again, is because he sort of sells the dream, but he's just too interested in how things work, like how to make it work, like the technology. He's a very warm and fuzzy guy, but you can see that when the camera's off, he's a very technically serious person, right? I mean, he's trying to solve these real problems, and it's hard to get a huge channel when you're not selling just the fantasy only. Anyway, I digress on that one. Studying the Bible seems like a passion that doesn't need to be shared. Does that make it less of a passion? Again, recognize what passions are you talking about when you're covering YouTube. And a lot of the people he interviews, to me, they're just a very small part of the passion market. So I feel, again, you want to define, what do you mean by passion? Like, are you just covering people that want to sell their channel on YouTube and you want to sell? There's a lot of this. There's a lot of incestuous behavior with YouTube creators that I feel is making everybody sort of weak in what they do. So, I mean, I don't know. I think Javier is going to have an amazing future. He's going to do some great things, but it's not going to be what he's doing now, because he's not really, just pandering too much to this idea and not really focusing on what he truly believes, what he would do if he had 100 people following him. But I don't know the answer myself, so I'm not judging him. I always think, like, isn't it good to have an interest in everything? I have an interest in everything. But when you have an interest in everything, it's hard to have a passion in one thing. That's what kills me. I believe that's what kills most creators. And again, that's not really addressed on many of these, progress and passion type videos or YouTubers. Your audience is mostly between the age of 15 and 30. Well, what about the rest of us, right? What about me? Like, are these videos done for me? No. So, I mean, if you recognize that you're only talking to a youthful market, what does that mean? Again, talking about the Hong Kongers, right, that are flinging rocks and petrol bombs into buildings with a bunch of other, young millennials taking photos of them. What world are you coming from? Anyway, I think that's the final thing, is like, the truth is not a big seller. Never has been, never will be. And Javier and many, like Oliver, they love the truth. And this is why I love their channels, because they can't hide it. But the very thing that they love is what prevents them from making money, which is really, entertainment is about giving one thing, a very consistent thing to a person. Like, if it's going to be comedy, it's going to be comedy. If it's going to be tragedy, it's going to be tragedy. Whatever, that you're going to get that. If it's going to be a video about I can quit my job and be a photographer, even if you don't really believe it, that you're going to get a good dose of that watching, Peter McKinnon, then that's what people will turn into. But if you don't know, if the person might go to something different, like they might, interview somebody about doing your passion one day, but then talk about, complicated tricks in Photoshop that just scare you another, well, I think that's difficult to do. So you have to sell the dream, or you have to just do something very technical. So you do technical videos, and then you maybe do some tutorials that you charge for, or whatever. It's that you recognize what your space is. But I want to finish this off with, again, to me, there are big things happening in the world, and we need people. I enjoy people like Javier and Oliver, who are very serious about this stuff, who have great talents. Oliver is better in that he's really looking at his own, mental illness is the wrong word, but his own, the things that really do, I think, affect people trying to create art, or trying to explain the world in a way that helps people, that it reduces our anxiety, makes us happy, or whatever. That we have a responsibility. Artists have a responsibility to be true to that, true to the real problems. And with great talent comes responsibility. And Javier is a great talent, and he's done some great videos, but eventually YouTube only wants to make money. Okay, that's, I guess, really what I'm saying. You want to be a creator on YouTube, it's about making money for them. That's all. And if you're going to try and talk about serious issues, there's going to be very limited money there. You're going to starve for the whole rest of your life. That's not a bad thing. You should accept that. And but if that is going to be the case, if you're never going to get a huge wide audience, that you're always going to be begging for money and scrambling, then cover the stuff that is important. Cover the stuff that that you can really do something about. And I guess, again, that's what I'm going to say, is that YouTube creators look and decide really what you want to do, recognize this as a business, recognize that just because somebody's successful doing camera work or whatever really doesn't mean, only just means a very small thing in the reality that we all face. So now I'm sure I'm going on too long. If you watch this long, you know, oh, we'll see if I get more subscribers, so they all unsubscribe. So yeah, if you don't like it, unsubscribe, so I won't make any more of these videos. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day, and good luck in all your artistic endeavors.